My name is Izanelli Bedoya, and this is my design concept for the third act of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. These are the costumes that I kind of chose out for them or found. This is Rosencrantz and this is Guildenstern. They both have leather clothing, and each one is in brown and one is in black. This is Hamlet. He's wearing all black, also kind of leather clothing, like clothing that they used like back in the days. And you have the player. He's all in red. You can see he has a little blade that he will be using later on in the scene. So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern in the middle of the sea. They are on a boat, and this is where like the whole theater, whenever the audience is sitting down. They are on the boat, and the boat looks like this, and this is going to be facing the audience, but it is kind of dimmed out, like the lighting is dimmed out because it's during the day, but it's dark outside, which makes them think it's during the night, but it's not. So that's the boat, and here, this is where they actually are sitting down on the boat. And they are facing the audience, and they start arguing about the letter that the king sent them for them to hand over Hamlet. And they start arguing about how they are going to present themselves to the king, how they're going to turn in Hamlet, and how they're going to do it, and all that. And also, I think it's the next slide. These are the 3 barrels that are going to be used. So that's in the back. So while Hamlet and Rosencrantz actually fall asleep, and Hamlet is there, and he wakes up, and he's using this umbrella so that he can get the letter that they were talking about or discussing, and he actually switches out the letter. He replaces it with another letter. But when he does this, he approaches the lantern and he blows it out. So like on the stage, like there was a little light, but now there's like no light because he blew out the lantern, and the only light that is on stage right now is going to be the moon. So that's the only thing lighting up the stage. This is the seating of the audience, how the stage will look. It's kind of dark. So, and the moon's kind of up here. This is the barrel that I was talking about, and how whenever Rosencrantz and the barrels, remember, and whenever Rosencrantz and Guildenstern wake up, they actually hear music coming from these barrels, and Rosencrantz is actually the one that tracks down the music, and it's coming down from the middle barrel on the boat. And this is where the player comes in and tells everyone to get out of the barrels. And this is where Rosencrantz and Guildenstern ask the player if they're going to make it to England safe, and they have like this big old conversation. And while they're having this whole conversation, there's these pirates that approach the boat, and here's the pirates in their costumes, how it's like, they're obviously pirates. So everyone like hides in a barrel, and like when the pirates leave, they realize that Hamlet is missing. So they automatically think that he's dead, and like the lighting here is a little bit more broad. So on the stage, everyone is staying around the barrels trying to figure out where Hamlet went, and this is how the stage looks now. Shortly after, the player is making a remark about how everyone eventually is going to die. And he gives Rosencrantz and Guildenstern a speech. The player gives them a speech. And this is where that blade comes in that I said in the beginning, how he uses it to right here, uses the blade, and he slides it across his throat and pretends he is dead. Kind of like he basically told them that everyone is gonna die. Like, it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing, that you're gonna basically die. But then he eventually stands up and he starts laughing, and the people that are around him, goodness, I can't remember who they were, they start laughing with them. And now everything is coming to an end, like the lights are a little bit more brighter, a little bit dimmed out, but this is where Guildenstern like kind of disappears when they start talking about when they get to the king and they start talking about how everyone starts dying. So like everyone slowly just starts dying. Guildenstern is actually the first one that disappears. He just like disappears into like the darkness on the stage. So he just goes to the back of the stage, and the stage. This is when the stage actually lights up, and then Rosencrantz just disappears, and that's the end of it. And here are my citations.